What's up, Alibaba fans? I've been doing some digging, some hard-nosed detective work, and I want to share my findings with you. I've been learning about different versions of the game, the different releases, the different cracks, and a little bit about some of the related games that Stuart Smith developed. So I figure we'll give a little general background and then kind of start to focus in from there. So here's a little timeline of the games I want to mention. In 1980 there, you had Fracas released for Apple computers. That was kind of where it all started. And that was a really simple game. I haven't played it much, but I've just watched some playthroughs, and I would like to play it at some point in the future. And then in 1981, the legend began on Atari computers with the first release of Alibaba and the Forty Thieves there. And then in 1982, that's the version that I know and love that I've been using in all my videos up to this point, Alibaba for Apple computers. And then the next year in 1983 was Return of Heracles for Apple, Atari, and Commodore. Again, I haven't played it. I've seen a little bit of info about it. Would love to play it in the future at some point. Then in 84 came the next game, ACS, Adventure Construction Set for the Commodore. Same story there. I haven't played it myself, but I've heard a little bit about it and would love to give it a try. Next year in 85, ACS made its way over to Apple computers. Then in 86 was Age of Adventure on Apple. Now, Age of Adventure is not actually a game. It's a compilation of two earlier games, namely Alibaba and Return of Heracles. They packaged them together and it was published by Electronic Arts. The previous release of Alibaba in 82 had been published by Quality Software. So there's some interesting differences between them. And then just to round it off, the next year in 87, ACS made its way to IBM computers. So let's focus in on the differences between the 82 release of Alibaba and the 86 release of Alibaba that was in the Age of Adventure pack. So there's some minor differences here and there, and then a couple of differences that are more important. So just going down the list here, some minor stuff, different user interface, different boot screen, different intro screen. In the EA release, you can bash into as many walls as you want and it doesn't do you any damage. And in the EA release, you can access your options at any time during your move, not just at the start of your move. And one significant difference is number 6 there. The EA version in 86 had the speed option to speed up the game, which is really nice, actually. I like that. I wish that the 82 version had that. And then they changed monster rebirth rate to danger, not a big deal. And you can defend after you've decided to attack, and it's asking you to choose which direction you want to attack, not a big deal. But number 9 there is kind of the deal breaker for me, and this is the one I'm also not so sure about. So I'll show you a video in a bit where, among other things, the AI is just acting weird when it's got like an obstacle above it. It'll want to move up and bash into that obstacle, and it's really kind of strange and a total deal breaker for me. It ruins the game, in my humble opinion. It doesn't come up that often, but for me, it's enough to ruin it. So you'll see in a minute. So if you're looking to play Alibaba and you go out onto the internet to find a disk image, you might find a list like this. And look, there are 7 different versions. Which one is the good one? Which one's the best? Which one should you play and not waste your time on the other ones? Well, I've wasted my time on all of them so that you don't have to waste your time on any of them. I don't consider it a waste of time, though, of course. I consider time spent playing Alibaba time well spent. So let's go down the list. Number 1 there is Age of Adventure Clean Crack by Passport. I believe Passport is software that's used to crack security on the games. So this version has some issues that I want to show you a little video of. You'll see it's the Electronic Arts release from 1986, Age of Adventure. It has the AI bug that I mentioned, but it seems like all the EA releases have that, unfortunately. But this one also crashes, and I think the crashing is coming from the crack. The good thing is it doesn't have any annoying changes to it, and like none of the strings are changed or any weird Easter eggs or signatures or anywhere. But yeah, let's take a look at how it crashes. All right, so I'm using Applewin as my emulator here. I have tried it on some different versions or different emulators, and they all seem to do the same thing, so I don't think it's anything to do with the emulator. So I just kind of start a new game here, go into the options and crank up the game speed. Again, I love that feature. And then crank up the danger, because you know I love to live dangerously. And I don't really go anywhere. I'm just kind of hanging around in the first rooms, fighting with some bad guys, getting killed a lot. So here you see the screen kind of freaked out. The text went into negative mode for some reason. And it just kind of goes downhill from there. So there the text says Argum, and I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to say that. Seems like some of the strings have gotten corrupted with garbage text in there. Now our Argum has changed to Argmu. So it seems like another stray byte has been written into the wrong place. And right here, Salomon bashes into the wall above him. That's that AI bug that I mentioned that seems to come in all of the Electronic Arts release versions of the game. And the door creaks but remains SHIT. That's interesting. I think that was another corrupted string there. And here you can see the strings are all messed up. It's gone completely off the rails, and then the whole screen freaks out. But the game's still running for now. It's just a little bit messed up, but it's still chugging along. You can see the screen got corrupted a few more times in there. And here's the straw that finally breaks the camel's back. The game just kind of crashes, and that's all she wrote. So yeah, so that bug where the AI wants to go up and is bashing into objects, that I think is not related to the crack. Okay, so back to our list here. So that was the first one there, Age of Adventure Clean Crack by Passport. So that one should be avoided because it's going to crash on you. The next one, number 2, Alibaba.do. So that one's the 82 quality software release, and it has the Long John Silver crack. It works well. I mean, it doesn't crash, but it has lots of changes to the text in the game, and I find that kind of annoying, so I don't really recommend it. Number 3 on the list, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves Clean Crack. That one's the 86 Electronic Arts release. It has the annoying AI bug that I mentioned, but it doesn't crash and it doesn't have any changes to the text or anything like that. So if you like the 86 release, maybe for the speed up option, I could give that one a recommendation. The next one down the list, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.nib, same as the previous one. It just seems to be a different file format, doesn't crash or nothing, so all good. Next up, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves 4am and San Ink crack. That one's the same as the first one we talked about. It crashes, so can't recommend that. Number 6 there, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves Dr. Death crack. That's the one I've been using in all my videos up to this point, so it's my favorite version. It's the 82 quality software release, and it works well, doesn't crash on me, and it has a few changes, but they're relatively minor. And the last one in the list is actually just a copy of the first one in the list, so can't recommend it because it crashes. So that's going to just about do it for this video. If you're looking for a version of Alibaba to play, I recommend the Dr. Death crack of the 82 quality software release. I think that's the best of the bunch, although it's not perfect. What would be perfect is if someone out there has an original copy of the 82 release that they want to make a WAS image of and upload to archive.org. That would be great. I would do it myself, except they're extremely expensive. And I wonder if anyone has an original version of the Age of Adventure Electronic Arts 86 release that they could upload a WAS image of, because it'd be interesting to see if that AI bug is really in the original game or if that was somehow part of the cracking process and somehow it got into all those different cracked versions of the game. That seems unlikely to me, but who knows? It'd be interesting to see. All right, see you in the next one. Adios.